name is Bob Blackburn, officially Robert Blackburn, and I'm professor of philosophy currently. I have been in the past Pat Roger Williams, Dean of the School of Humanities and Chairman of Philosophy, and right now I'm just philosophy professor. I started in the fall of 1968. Philosophy was lumped together with religious studies and math, okay? So don't ask me why. Religious studies, math, and philosophy. And I ended up taking a religious studies course just because I thought it might be kind of interesting. And so I was already had that satisfied, but that kind of got me into that category. And I'd try a philosophy course. Roger Williams was the only college that I even got an answer from. The war in Vietnam was hot and heavy at the time, and they had just done away with exemptions, military draft exemptions for undergraduates and graduate students. And there still existed the exemption for teaching because they didn't want to take teachers out of the classrooms. So that was another inducement to teach because that might have saved my life. I love it here. This is, I was born in Rhode Island, moved away, and always wanted to come back to New England. And this is just a fantastic spot. When I came to Roger Williams, it was just going from a junior college to a four-year school. So as a first and second year faculty member, I was able to help write the Constitution for the faculty, help make all kinds of decisions about curriculum and academic standards and all this kind of stuff that if I was a first or second year faculty member at, pick a college, you'd be, no, shut up kid, you get your time later, And I got right in right from the very beginning, and so I really feel invested in Roger Williams, and I've seen so many students who have gone through and turned their lives around, especially from the early days where kids came in. They came in, a lot of them, because they couldn't get into any other school. And it wasn't that they weren't good students with potential, but they just screwed up too much in high school. I would say that we used to have more of a non-traditional student. Students who were older. The average freshman wasn't an 18-year-old. The average freshman probably had been out of high school for a year or two, maybe had been working for a year or two. The most interesting, not a one incident kind of thing, but the most interesting time for me at Roger Williams was in the early 70s when the campus was extremely vital due to protests against the war in Vietnam. And students and faculty alike, staff, were younger faculty and younger staff were being drafted to fight in a war that was growing more and more unpopular all the time. And hence the protest was greater and greater. So the campus itself, all the new buildings, new dormitories. When I came here, there was one dorm. There was only Maple. That was the only dorm, and it was just called the dorm. When you only have one dorm, you don't need to name it. It's the dorm. In other ways, I think students are now maybe more concerned with what kind of a job I'm going to get when I get out of college. That seems to be like a major thing. That's obviously the economy, which makes that more of a difficult. Makes it more of a concern. I think the thing that needs the most work, and I guess that's a future plan, is to work more quickly towards a more diverse campus. Students, faculty, administrators, staff, more diverse in terms of racial, ethnicity, socio-economic background, sexual orientation, just more diverse. I think, and this is going to sound corny, but the high point for me really is walking into a class, especially the first week of the semester, and engaging with students right off the bat, and getting them to think a little bit differently, think about things they haven't thought about, approach problems and ideas, because I teach philosophy differently. Most students haven't had any kind of philosophy before. And so the high point for me really is that recurs every semester and really carries on throughout the year. I mean, I just like being in the classroom and interacting with students. That's kind of the high point of my career. But it keeps happening, so I don't at all regret staying here. I wouldn't have stayed if I wanted to go somewhere else. And the guy who interviewed me was like unbelievable. This guy could have been, it was a junior college at the time, recognized. This guy could have been teaching at any Ivy League school, just like a brilliant man. And the first thing I thought of was, wow, if this junior college has a guy like that, there's something here.